My son won $100,000 in the lottery, and I stole every penny. Am I the asshole?
So this is payback. Oh,
this is payback.
Oh, literally, he's owed so much more.
Yeah, dude, 100K is light work.
What a deal. I'm doing you such a favor.
Yeah, you know what else is doing me a favor? Me and my Bali girlfriend separated today.
Yep.
We spent a beautiful 4 days together.
That's right.
Miss her. I have a wife, Wilhelma, 40, and two sons, Sam, 17, and Scott, 16. 6 years ago, I ran the gas station to buy some cigarettes. Instead of abandoning my family, just a joke, I decided to also buy a lottery ticket for everyone, just for fun. It was a blast. We all talked all night about what we would do with our winnings, where we would go, etc. I mean, this was all fantasy anyway, right?
That's what we think, man.
Yeah, and everyone knows the fantasy always turns into reality and then leaves you. And it does. But I specifically told my kids that they would have to share their winnings and they would have to put it away for college, first and foremost. Well, wouldn't you know it, Sam's ticket won. Of course, it's actually my ticket and I had to claim it. It didn't win the jackpot, but after taxes, we walked away with $60,000. I sat them both down and explained that I was going to save it all for college, but we could celebrate/splurge a little. They absolutely wanted a gaming system, and Wilhelma insisted on a family vacation that was much needed. We all agreed on this and are saving the rest.
That's a brilliant plan.
Yeah,
I think most people, like, their lives are messed up by the lottery. So
yeah, you want to save most of it, and like a vacation sounds nice. Just like don't meet the love of your life here, and then let her leave you the next couple days.
How did I know that was coming?
I bought a gaming system and a bunch of games for about $1,000. Wilhelma took over the vacation and insisted on a Disney World trip. The boys don't even like Disney, but it's always Wilhelma's dream to go, so we went. Another $5,000. Last year, Sam wanted a car. Wilhelma was pretty tired of chauffeuring them around anyway, so I agreed and spent his $4K on another car. I pay insurance, registration, and maintenance under the agreement that he takes over driving Scott to his stuff and as well. Wilhelma had no complaints about any of these purchases. Everyone's happy.
Everyone's looking good.
Since day one, I've actually invested the entire winnings and never dipped into it. I've always spent my own money on all this stuff. I've invested better than average. And that 60K is now 100K.
Hey, Mr. Money Bags over here.
Bags, man. Improving his life.
That's right.
Only I was winning instead of losing. Wilhelma knows I've always invested our money, but a small amount since we're poor. She knows I was investing the lottery winnings as well. I've always told her about the money doing well, but I guess I never explicitly said how well. She also has never asked, as she has left our finances completely up to me. Sam is starting college in a few weeks, and we figured out a plan to stretch his 30K over the 4 years. While looking at the portfolio, Wilhelma noticed it was 100K and asked how. I told her I invested 60K and it grew to 100K. She then asked why we're only giving Sam 30K when it should be 50K. I said, no, the other 40K is mine. I managed this account. I made the investments. I did all the work. Plus, I paid for all the other stuff through our other savings. The 40K stays and I'll keep investing it. If the boys need money, it's there. But if not, I'm gonna eventually retire a little early with it. She thinks I'm stealing his money since I wouldn't have been able to invest with it if I didn't have it to begin with. I say, it's always kind of been my money to begin with, and I'm still giving him 30K I promised him since the beginning. So am I the a-hole for keeping that leftover cash?
Yeah, I mean, he bought it. So
but he bought it and gifted it.
Right.
So I think as soon as you gift something, it's theirs. And let me tell you this, John.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hit me.
So yeah, you buy everyone here a lottery ticket.
Yep.
Right? You're like, hey, went out, want to get everyone a lottery ticket. You give it to each one of us. Riley wins $1 million.
Oh, yes.
Are you saying, Riley, that actually wasn't a real gift. That $1 million is mine.
Oh, 100%. No, I'm just kidding. I think the difference here is it's family. And the kid was 17.
I think like, a kid that young, you might like just blow it all immediately. Like throw caution to the wind, invest your heart in someone that's just going to leave. You're like, where am I? What am I doing here?
Of course.
Is any of this matter?
Sam met this girl. In case you haven't heard.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question. Is OP the a-hole for keeping it? I say no.
I say no. You know, like protect Sam from making a dumb decision that he'll regret later.
100%. And it's also their retirement.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, wife, why are you fucking up our bag? Like,
exactly. Like, we know better. Like, don't go and throw your, you know, life into anyone that will give it. Like, my parents were like, Sam, just focus on yourself. Be, you know, really tend to your wishes and and understand who you are.
Yes.
Don't just go falling for any Australian girl that comes your way.
Well,
let's get into this next story. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments.
Someone on Tinder scammed me for $20,000. I want to get revenge, but am I the a-hole?
Classic dating love app, just destroying all hope of love. I broke up with my Balinese girl. She wasn't Balinese, but I met her in Bali on the beach. And then we got dinner and drinks and danced the night away. And now she's gone.
Hey, but you have us, you know?
Yeah.
Editors, can we start up a Bali girlfriend counter?
Yeah.
See where we're at right now, and we'll keep the fun times rolling. Just prepare yourself.
All right.
So I just realized that I've fallen for one of the most heartbreaking and wallet-draining scams out there.
Love. I've lost so much.
Yeah. For me, I can spot a scam within a mile, but this one was something I didn't expect I would fall for. It started when I was so down and desperate for a relationship that I went through finding true love on Tinder.
You can't find true love anywhere.
I'm not a very attractive person, but I can cook and have a nice personality. I went through a week without making a match and ended up paying for premium. I ended up with a match. She wasn't that attractive on her pictures, and from what I could see, she lives near my place. We chatted and I was feeling a connection with her. Made a connection to the point that I'm going to uninstall Tinder and talk to her on a different platform.
One platform, what is like Discord?
Hey babe, do you want to play Fortnite with me? I'm just kidding. Everyone who plays Fortnite is great.
Yeah,
all of our amazing fans.
Yeah, we love you, even though it's not real.
Yeah.
Love.
I was hoping we could talk over text and call each other, but she told me about WhatsApp.
I mean, I tend to go for Instagrams first. Like, I remember there was this girl that I met on the beach.
Me not having the right state of mind because I was having a genuine attraction with her, I went ahead and started talking more there. After a few days of talking about our future, she started talking about, you know, good old crypto. And she asked me if I had any experience with crypto. Me being a know-it-all, I said yes and bragged that I invested in some coins, but I did lose some.
Yeah.
She then started talking about how I lost since I was looking for a long-term investment. Apparently, she was showing me her transactions and her so-called profits and a car that she bought with those profits. This is a red flag for me already, but I don't know. I was caught off guard already because of my feelings for her.
Oh my God.
And there was part of me that wanted to see her.
Oh my God.
Eventually, she gave me a website to go through. Not sure if I can post it here, but I am willing to post it for awareness. And she told me about BWU.
BWU?
The hottest coin out there, baby.
Ooh, what does that stand for?
Be with you.
Be with. Oh, I want to be with you. I would invest in that coin.
I've checked more information about this coin, but it wasn't showing any information on CoinMarketCap, but I gave it a chance since she was guiding me through it, investing just $100.
Oh, man.
So on the website, it shows the fake coin, and you'll have to wait 60 to 120 seconds to make a profit. Well, lo and behold, after a few minutes of talking with her and having her guide me through all the steps, in the process, we ended up with $130. We're up.
Can he withdraw it?
Dude, 30%? Well, let's see. I was able to withdraw it from the scam site to my wallet, and it was fun. But after that, within the next few days, she was telling me about the market being good and that we can make thousands. Gullible me ended up making a deposit. Eventually, she wanted to join me and made a deposit of her own on my account on the scam site. Here we are, both of us making a profit of 2,000 USD. And I was ready to make a withdrawal, but was told that we broke their rules and my account is going to get frozen.
How could you be how could you be so naive, OP? Don't let love trick you.
I was then advised to make another account, and I needed to make a deposit of 20% of the old account to activate the balance of the new one.
My guy, don't dig yourself deeper.
Me panicking and her telling me she also has money into it reluctantly deposited, and apparently everything was transferred.
Oh, my guy. How much money did you lose?
But In order to withdraw all of it, we would need to trade, so we did. I followed her instructions and ended up with $21,000 by the time I was going to withdraw. I was told that I needed to pay taxes for the IMF, another 17% of the withdrawal amount.
They're getting him for everything.
Yeah. At this point, I've already realized it's something else. It's making me question a lot of things. At this point, I'm thinking of self-harm since I've lost a lot of it already because of this. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. My friends and family have told me about this, but I also invested because I felt she was real and all that. I don't know. I'm broke emotionally and financially.
Fuck, he invested like all his money.
Yeah, OP, let me tell you, brighter times are definitely around the corner. Like our friend Sam here. In the grand scheme of things, it's truly nothing, you know? And just because, you know, literally people get scammed all the time. And it
definitely sucks though.
It
for sure sucks.
Awful.
But also just like realize kind of what, like why you did this in the first place. You know, like I think like you were probably feeling like, you know, emotionally vulnerable, maybe a little lonely.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, like maybe this person will fill the hole in your heart. And maybe they did for a while. But then when they leave, that hole is just still there and it might even be bigger. Don't let it get bigger, OP.
But there's hope and happiness. There's good things.
Don't let it get bigger.
Yes. But
have you ever gotten scammed though? I would love to know people's scam stories.
It happens.
Dude, it happens.
It happens all the time. So please don't feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
Brighter times around the corner. Stay safe out there as well. But why don't we get into this next one? Huh?
You know, be careful with your heart.
That's right.
Be careful. Guard it. We'll see in a bit. My sister's kid sucks. There's no way around it. My daughter thinks so too. And my sister's mad that I just told her. Am I the asshole? It's called constructive feedback.
Hi, 5-year-old. You suck. Work on it.
Bam. My wife and her younger sister are best friends. As a result, when our middle daughter and her cousin were born around the same time, my wife really expected them to also be best friends. With 16 years of hindsight, I can say with certainty that the expectation was misplaced.
Yeah.
Much like the expectation that I would be spending my month in Bali with my new Balinese girlfriend. She's Australian, my Australian girlfriend. Nothing happened in particular. My daughter just doesn't like her cousin. My wife keeps pushing the relationship. This includes making my daughter spend time with her cousin during family gatherings, inviting her cousin on trips, forcing my daughter to call her. We're pretty sure I'm the favorite parent, a fact that keeps my ego well inflated, and therefore my apathy towards the situation is not well received by my wife. From my perspective, this isn't important, and I do not possess the ability to make two teenagers become friends. I'm also pretty sure that trying to push this kind of knuckleheaded stuff on kids makes kids not want to speak to you.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm probably the asshole. Yesterday, my wife forced my daughter to video call her cousin. My daughter rejected the request, and my wife told her, unless you have a valid reason for disliking your cousin, you will do this because we're family.
This is so dumb.
You don't force friendships.
I don't understand.
Yeah, just let it happen naturally.
Yeah.
And maybe if it happens naturally, it could lead somewhere, but often it doesn't. The call occurred. This morning, we awoke to a PowerPoint presentation titled Valid Reasons to Dislike My Cousin. Using clips from the Zoom call, segments included Why is Cousin's Voice So Grating? A music theory approach. A case study, Conversations that Provide No Value. Rethinking the idea that there are no dumb questions, etc. With the benefit of a couple hours of hindsight, it was a very cruel takedown of her cousin's entire personality. But pretty funny.
This is pretty hilarious.
Funny. I want to see that PowerPoint.
Oh, I want to so bad.
My wife was furious. My eldest daughter and I lost our shit laughing. My wife is demanding I support her in punishing my daughter for bullying her cousin. I have refused because I feel this whole situation wouldn't have occurred if she didn't push the relationship. But I'm starting to have second thoughts because it was very mean, I guess, although very funny. Am I the asshole?
Once you get to like the later teenage years, if I saw this, I would think it's funny and like maybe it's kind of mean-spirited, but
I think it is mean-spirited though. I would probably say like, hey, like, you know, you might not want to hang out with your cousin, but you shouldn't make things like this.
Yeah.
Although the mom did set the kid up for like, why don't you want to hang out with your cousin?
Yeah.
So I actually don't think the kid's asshole.
Because of that.
Yeah, I don't think the kid's the asshole because they're trying to force a relationship that the kid doesn't want to have. But I don't know. I want to know what everyone else thinks.
Definitely. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, never try to force a relationship. Let it happen naturally.
Also, I would love to hear your most annoying family member stories.
Oh yeah.
People definitely got a lot of those.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If you haven't already, write down something you love about Sam. Let's give our boy Sam some. Actually, a lot of you have written some really nice.
John, you don't understand. It was so lovely.
You're gonna be good.
I'm gonna be good.
You're gonna be good, buddy. You have thousands of people rooting for you right now. And if you're an Australian that's near Bali, and you want to take a flight out and meet Sam, just go to the beach, just catch some waves, look around for a cute, hunky American man that is shredding the nard, and we can make something happen.
Yeah,
we can make something happen.
I don't know if I'm ready to love again.
Give us one positive thing from the trip to close out with our beautiful fans today.
Ashley. My daughter is 18 and pregnant. She's too young to have a kid, so I stole that child. Am I the asshole?
You know, you gotta let your kid spread their wings and fly.
Let your kids have kids and then steal them. So my 49 male daughter got pregnant when she was 18. She didn't want a kid, especially not that young. So after some serious talk, I said I would take in her child, but she said she didn't want any responsibility for the child. So she ended up signing away her parental rights, and I adopted her child as soon as he was born.
That seems like a tricky situation because you're still there.
Yeah.
But, okay.
I think it's like the classic, like I'm actually your sister.
Yeah.
You know, you get raised by the mom, your mom, that's not your grandma, mom's your sister.
What do you mean?
She went off to college, traveled, and I fully supported her. My son, my daughter's child, but I will be calling him my son, is now 16 and is an amazing kid. And my daughter has barely come to see him. And if she does come around, she just ignores him. What the fuck? He knows that she is her biological mother, but after a few failed reconnection attempts when he was younger, he's given up on a relationship with her. That is so sad.
That is really tough, honestly.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, he doesn't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that he knows, and she's like, I'm kind of busy like traveling and like seeing the world. I'd rather just not see you or be involved in your world. Your world's shit.
Can you just like stop being around?
These last few weeks, a few things happened. My daughter got engaged to her long-term boyfriend.
Okay.
And my son came out to me.
Wow.
I fully support him, which is great. Don't expect that often from your grandmas.
That is true.
And my son also won a small local skating competition. All right. He's been skating since he was 9 and loves it. It's his preferred mode of transport, and he is known by the local skating community and skate shop. When my daughter got engaged, she said she didn't want any secrets, so she told her fiance that she has a child, but that I have adopted him. His kids, I'm not sure the age, but they are young, not understanding that my daughter and my son are estranged, wanted to meet their new brother. Even after days of refusing and kid-friendly explanations, they didn't give up, so they brought the kids to meet my son. It's a clash of the two families.
Interesting.
My son was friendly with the kids and their dad and was civil with my daughter. And her fiance sat with me to talk. After a while, the fiance noticed my son's trophy on a shelf and asked about it. When I explained, he looked interested, but my daughter was horrified. Why are you horrified?
Okay, listen, you're getting way too much attention. I might have to think and look at you now.
I would love for you to win the quiet competition.
Yes.
Let's start playing now and never stop. You're doing so good. You're doing so great, honey.
Thank you.
Keep going until you die. She sent her fiance to check on the kids, then asked me what I was doing, letting him do something so dangerous. She said that skateboarding was for delinquents and that as his mother, she doesn't want him skating anymore. As his mother?
Excuse me?
All of a sudden you care?
Whoa, now you're so worried.
She only wants to take away his fun.
What if she's trying to prove to her fiance, like, oh, I'm going to be a good mom to your kid?
She's like flexing her mom muscle. When she said mother, I have to admit, I did laugh. I reminded her that I had parental rights over him and that she has no say. She was clearly upset by this and called me cruel, saying that she was a child when she got pregnant and that she's a different person now. Wait, I recall you being pregnant at 18. I think something happens when you go from 7 to 18, right?
Yeah.
I think like in the eyes of the law, you're like legal freaking adult.
Also, you've had 16 years.
Yeah.
Which again just leads me to think it's performative.
Like you've had a lot of time to lean into this mom role if you wanted to.
Why not?
Or even more. How old is she? 49? 18? Oh, my 49. So
The grandma mom
yeah.
is 49, and then
I think it's 49 male.
oh, sorry, grandma, mom, dad. Please accept our most humblest of apologies.
And is even trying for a child with her fiance. I told her that doesn't matter and that my son is my son. She then got really upset and grabbed her fiance and his kids and left. At first, I didn't think I was in the wrong, but now that I think about it, it might have been rude to laugh and hold my paternal rights over her head like that. These past few weeks have been emotional, so maybe I overreacted. Am I the asshole? I want to let John give his opinion on whether OP is the asshole or not. But I would love to know from you guys, do you have any stories of like either you or someone you know having a sister mom?
Or a dad brother.
Or a dad brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the biological mom, she had so much time and so much opportunity. And to me, her going to the parent now and being like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing? How could you be so irresponsible? It's like, are you kidding me? I was literally responsible for 16 years.
Exactly.
To me, I'm kind of like, as OP, I am deserved an apology because it's like, hey, like, don't attack my parenting style when you didn't want to parent at all.
And you haven't had any input this whole time, nor have you shown that you wanted to have input. It's almost like if you had a kid and you're like, yeah, my kid's skateboarding now. And I would be like, oh, how dare you let your kid skateboard? You know what? Let me take over right here. Let me tell you how to parent your child.
Are you sure about that?
But yeah, I think like OP, I don't think is an asshole. The laughing, it was more like just out of bafflement. And I think making it very clear, like, hey, like, this is not your kid. You can't just tell me how to parent.
Yeah, I do not think that OP is the asshole.
No.
At all.
No. But what do you think? Put your answers in the comments right now, and we will talk to you soon because we're going to be telling you this next story.
Let's get into it. Husband wants to do a paternity test. He just wants to double check. Now things are getting even worse. Am I the a-hole?
Yeah, just check your work. You know, it's like your teacher says, show your work and then check it.
I'm not 100% sure. I want to make 100%.
Yeah, so I can love this child.
I, 34 female, have a younger brother, Tom, 30 male, who is co-parenting my 4-year-old nephew, TJ, and his ex, Amanda, 30 female. She and my brother have known each other since middle school and dated on and off since high school. It wasn't until after college that they decided to get serious, moved in together, and they were even engaged and would have gotten married if Amanda hadn't found out that she was pregnant.
Isn't that the whole idea of a shotgun wedding?
Also, they were already engaged. So
yeah.
It's like,
wait, so it's like, oh, we have a kid, divorce.
yeah, divorce before we even start. The dream dress that she wanted to wear was not made for a pregnant woman's body, and she opted to wait until after their son was born for the actual wedding.
Oh.
It sounds like Opie's saying that they like didn't do the wedding, but
they delayed it. Okay. That makes more sense.
Everything seemed to be going great until Tom decided to toss a grenade into the relationship. Here we go.
What's the grenade, Tom?
By asking for a paternity test before signing the birth certificate.
Yikes. You know, that doesn't, that's not a great setup to get married.
It's not a good look.
I understand where he's looking. He's scared. He's nervous.
Yeah.
But
you're supposed to have the trust there.
Yeah. It's like the trust is broken now.
Oh boy. He admitted that he had no proof, nor did he even suspect Amanda of cheating, and believed that their son was his.
So why the paternity test?
But he just wanted to be 100%. Babe, listen.
I totally trust you. 99.5%. I'm an overachiever. What can I say? I want 100%.
Come on. Obviously, Amanda did not take too kindly to what was being implied and moved out while Tom was away at work.
Speed run to implode your marriage.
For real. A few days later, he got the ring back through the mail along with a court summons for child support.
Wow.
Which included the DNA test he initially wanted.
I mean, you got what you wanted.
Be careful what you ask for, boys. So, the DNA test.
Oh, he's with the father.
Tom was the father.
I mean, he was 99% sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was right.
And while there were people on both sides trying to push for reconciliation, Amanda was not interested. She was mostly civil about everything, but refused to be engaged with Tom about anything that didn't directly involve their son. To me, she didn't seem angry, just cold. Like she could put on this convincing mask of warmth and joy with Tom whenever TJ was around, but the second he wasn't home, she would go, "Please don't touch me."
Damn, Tom really f***ed his life up.
Tom has always been hurt over how Amanda responded to his request and feels that she failed TJ by walking away instead of just staying in the relationship.
Do you think it's an overreaction?
I mean, I do think that Amanda has every right to be very offended, feel like the trust is broken and all these things. And ultimately, I think it's okay to leave the relationship. I'm putting myself in those shoes. I probably would have wanted to sit down and I would give myself some time to process and maybe tell them like the trust is broken, like this could end the relationship. I don't know if I would have done it as soon, but I mean,
yeah.
Who am I to say? Nobody. I mostly just bit my tongue. But now that Amanda has started dating again, Tom has gotten worse. One day he was ranting about how it was too soon for Amanda to be dating. Yeah, man, 4 years, you know, that is just
4 years.
The kid is 4 years old now.
Yeah. I mean, 4 years is not too soon.
Babe, can you just wait like a good 3 decades for me?
Can you just be celibate the rest of your life?
I responded by bringing up how Tom has had at least 2 girlfriends since his relationship with Amanda ended. Bro,
Tom is the biggest hypocrite. He wants to have it both ways. He's like, I trust you, but I want a paternity test. I have had 2 girlfriends, but you're not allowed any boyfriends.
Yeah, I love you, but I need to sleep with all these other women.
He's Warren Buffetting it. Just because I have a wife don't mean I can't diversify my assets.
Emphasis on the ass. So Tom defended himself, saying that what he did was different, as he was just dating to have fun and scratch the itch while Amanda is looking to marry.
Man does not know how to save himself.
This guy is Chicken Joe if he was like nefarious.
Not cool.
Yeah, if he wasn't like a good guy. Tom, you are now Chicken Tom. Eventually, I got fed up with his attitude and told him the only reason he's in this situation is because of his choice to question the paternity. Tom said that as a man, he had every right to know if TJ was his, and I countered with Amanda having every right to leave him over it, as no honest woman should have been treated as if they'd done something wrong, and that I would have done the exact same thing as her if a man ever dared to try something like that with me. Dude, this is some tough brotherly love right here. He is just laying it down.
The toughest of love.
Since then, my parents and a few of Tom's friends has said that I was in the wrong as my brother was looking for a sympathetic ear rather than to be kicked while he was down. Am I the a-hole?
I don't think so.
Who are these family members?
Dude, I mean,
who are these friends?
I feel like OP is giving the exact advice that Tom needs to hear.
Yes.
Tom is a bumbling buffoon that doesn't know his ass from his and he needs to know what is and what ain't.
And you know what's going to keep happening? He is going to keep doing stupid like this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think OP was too harsh with Tom? Also, what do you think about asking for paternity tests just in case? Is that a good idea? Is that ever a good idea? Is asking for a paternity test an automatic relationship ender?
That's the question.
That's the question.
I feel like we'll get some mixed results.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what people say.
Yeah, me too. You know what I'm also curious about?
What?
This next story. My children are refusing to take care of me in my old age, so I'm spending all of their inheritance. Am I the asshole?
What goes around comes around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't take care of me, say goodbye to your money.
Not looking for financial advice, only moral judgments. Also, English is not my first language. Here we are, the arbiters of moral judgment.
We have arrived.
We have arrived and we're ready to judge you severely. I have 3 children, Jason, 25 male, Monica, 30 female, and Veronica, 32 female. I've always had a good relationship with my children, a bit more distant after my wife died, but in general, we have a nice relationship. I received a hefty inheritance from my parents, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago. This inheritance is not only a product of my parents' work, but money that has been in my family for decades. So it is expected of me to try to save as much of the inheritance for my children and so on. It's also important to mention that in my culture, that children are supposed to take care of their parents in their old age, which honestly, I feel like that should be in all cultures.
It really should be though. Yeah.
Like my parents definitely want me to take care of them.
Yeah.
They're getting out on the streets though.
Yeah. Sorry, mom and dad.
Both my mom and dad suffered from diseases that required 24/7 care by the end of their life. This disease runs in the family, so most likely I will suffer from one of them too. A few months ago, I made an offhand comment about going to the doctor for my annual revisitation since my health has been not so great. I said, has anyone talked about who I will live with when I'm old and wrinkly? Which is like a cute way to kind of bring it up.
Yeah, that's it's nice, it's subtle, and it's timely, you know.
It was a joking comment. I'm not actually planning to live with any of my children yet. But I guess the comment didn't sit right with any of my children because they told me about 2 months ago that they have decided that they will not be taking care of me when I'm old.
Sorry, Pops. I just want to watch you wither away and die.
That's so shitty. Imagine all 3 of your children being like, so we've unanimously decided that like when you can't take care of yourself anymore, we're just not going to do anything about it. They told me that they first have to look out for their family. The cost of living is rising, et cetera, et cetera. And it was very hurtful to hear them say that. Then I've had to make the decision to start to plan for my old age. I've moved a lot of the funds of my inheritance to my savings account and plan to go on trips that I've always wanted to go on while I'm a bit young and healthy. I plan to pay for this with the inheritance.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you can't take care of me. I'm not going to take care of you. I mentioned I'm going to Mexico in a few weeks to Monica, who asked how I'm going to pay for the trip. I then told her I'm planning to use the inheritance from now on to pay for trips, accommodations, food, etc. She then called me selfish and accused me of trying to punish them for not following tradition. Or if you don't want to continue the tradition of taking care of me, I'm not going to continue the tradition of taking care of you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know what? You were right when you said that. Like, yeah, let's get rid of this tradition stuff.
Also, it's like he needs that money now to take care of himself.
Hello.
Yeah.
What else is he going to do?
Yeah, he needs that money. Yeah, you've decided that you're going to just saddle me with end of life care, which is ridiculously expensive. If you talk about any retirement home, the reason that it's so high is they just want to drain your bank account before you die. After that, Monica called her siblings, which in turn called me to tell me that if I start to use the inheritance to live a lavish life, then I'm robbing them of the money that their grandparents promised them. They're all very mad at me and refuse to talk to me to get to an agreement. Am I the asshole? So I want to know what y'all think.
Yes.
And also, do you guys plan on taking care of your parents?
Mm-hmm.
If so, how? Riley's shaking his head saying, no way. Parents are fucked.
My parents.
I don't know. What do you think?
This just makes my blood boil so much, especially that they would be, I can understand, you know, there's certain scenarios where it might be a big imposition. This is not that situation in the slightest. This is OP being like, hey, if I'm ever in a place where I get this disease that I might have in my genetics, OP doesn't even expect to live with them.
Yeah.
OP's just like, what is the plan?
Yeah.
Like, it's such an a-hole move on the kid's part.
My grandparents last year, it was like actually a big thing because my grandma is like having some dementia right now. Grandpa's still very sharp, but they were living in their place in Sacramento and they probably still could have lived there for a while, but my grandma was needing more care. But it was a huge thing. Like the whole family came together.
Yeah.
There were meetings where like, how are we gonna, take care of you as you go into this next part of your life? But the conversation is super important. And the fact that the kids are just like, I don't want anything to do with that conversation, that's pretty fucked up.
That's it. And like, there's just so many options that they could have explored. There's in-home nurses, there's the retirement homes, there's, I'm sure, I'm no expert, I'm sure there's a lot more, but they literally said, I'm not even willing to think about it.
And it's not like they had a bad relationship.
No.
Unless maybe they did. I don't know.
Maybe there's some like low-key.
Maybe there's some low-key.
Children red flags,
I want to know from all of you, like, do you plan on taking care of your parents? If so, how? If you haven't thought about it, maybe start thinking about it. Your parents are going to die and you're going to die.
Use your noodle.
So get ready for death.
Speaking of which, this episode is now dead. See you in the next one.
My father passed away, so my sister wants me to walk her across the aisle.
I'll never do it.
Am I the a-hole?
Tough love is the best love.
Build character. Let it burn. So my father passed away when I, male 26, was 22 years old. And my sister, female 29, was 25 years old. With this in mind, my sister, after getting engaged, asked me if I would do the honor of walking her down the aisle. At first, I was elated, and so I enthusiastically agreed. Then There's always a then. Things quickly changed after my sister realized that my wife was pregnant. In the preceding months, my sister made my wife's life hell, who initially had been one of her bridesmaids, but was relatively recently informed that she will not be anymore. You're just throwing off the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, can you
See,
just...
like, we're all size 2s,
Yeah?
and you're a size ew.
Now, originally it was fine, but as my wife's pregnancy became visible, my sister would at times taunt her and make rude comments towards her.
Like what?
Move that big beluga stomach out of the way.
During her bachelorette party just a few days ago, she even yelled at her because she was ruining her fun by being too distracting and not drinking.
Everyone do shots, including you,
Fatty.
You should actually be drinking for 2.
God, I hate this woman. The ensuing onslaught resulted in my wife being removed as one of the bridesmaids. She even left my pregnant wife on the side of the road as my sister made her way to a party planned in part by my wife and in a limousine paid for by me.
There's a weight limit on this limo.
This coupled with the fact that she had asked me recently to ask my wife to stay at home because her pregnancy will take attention away from her on her special day.
Is it's really OP's fault?
Brother, could you have just pulled out, please? This just broke me. I called her up yesterday after I found out what she said to my wife, and I told her that I will not be attending the wedding and that she will have to find someone else to walk her down the aisle. That's when the call began. Everyone has been calling me, telling me that I'm overreacting and that I'm intentionally trying to sabotage her wedding. She even called to yell at me and told me that she has always hated that bitch while referring to my wife. I told her to fuck off, of course. My mother has been extremely sympathetic towards my wife and she agrees with me. My wife has been crying over this and she has herself received an onslaught of messages. I blocked all my relatives except my mother, of course, and I'm planning on a trip to Disney for my wife and I on the day of my sister's wedding, as I already booked the days off from work, and Disney is where my wife and I went on our first date when we lived in LA. The news has started its own onslaught. Nevertheless, am I the a-hole? Now, we do have an update. I want to know what everyone else thinks.
I don't think OP is the a-hole.
There we go. Let's get into it. So I unblocked my relatives who had called me to convince me to walk my sister down the aisle, and I sent them the post. Most apologized and didn't know how poorly my sister had treated my wife. A few even canceled going to the wedding and were appalled at the fact that my sister decided to kick my pregnant wife out of the car and leave her on the side of the road. So she literally did kick her out of the car.
Why?
Oh,
for not drinking?
I guess so. The groom didn't care much and said that this is a personal family matter, which he shouldn't involve himself in. You're literally joining the family. That's how this shit works.
Hey, I need a little warm up before all this drama.
My mother is attending the wedding, but she has just adopted the attitude of, once I get this done, she'll be out of my hair once and for all. Now, as for my sister, she was none too pleased when I sent her the post. She apparently texted me a bunch. I had her blocked, so I didn't receive anything. Then this very morning, she shows up to my firm in New York. She doesn't live too far, but I didn't know that she would show up to my workplace. I sat her down and gave her a chance to explain herself. She refused to apologize. She tried to make herself seem like she was making the right decision by saying she was just looking out for my wife and baby's health. Yeah, by kicking her out of a car and wanting her to drink.
I don't think you know how to be a parent.
To which I reminded her how she tried to bully my pregnant wife into doing shots. My wife didn't cave, of course. Then she tried to guilt me, saying that our father would have disapproved of me trying to ruin her wedding if he was still alive.
Wow.
Give me a break.
Using the dead dad card.
Oh my God. She said that blood is more important, which is ironic considering this is her wedding. Then she got aggressive, telling me that I am ruining her wedding, and proceeded to say horrific things about my wife. Angered, I told her to get out of my office. And I told her to never come to my office or house again, or I'd get a restraining order. She left, cursing me and my wife out. Also, we are still going to Disneyland.
Disneyland's pretty dope.
It really is, though.
Yeah, we were actually there not too long ago.
My question is obviously, is OP the a-hole like OP is asking?
No, OP is not the a-hole in the slightest.
Yeah.
In fact, what a great husband.
Yeah. Standing up to his sister, we've seen many times.
It is hard to stand up to your family, you know, and like this guy's doing it for his wife.
His fat pregnant wife.
Like, come on. If you can do that for your wife when she's getting kicked out of the bridal shower for being a whale.
For not taking shots. Her her and her baby not taking shots.
He's really doing Lord's work here.
Big salute to OP. I also would love to hear your craziest bridezilla stories.
I feel like certain people just, the power goes to their head, man. Like they think that because they're planning like a big event, they own the world.
Yeah. It is all
Power
about
trip.
them, but it's like there's levels.
But I think because they know it's all about them, like the power trips go insane.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take a second to go on my own power trip.
Wow.
And tell you this next story.
Oh, let's go.
My annoying stepmom keeps trying to adopt me. I told her, I don't want to be adopted. Leave me alone. Am I the asshole?
Maybe you don't want to be adopted by the stepmom, but there's some other things that can be done with
I
the
want
stepmom.
to adopt part of me. Ooh,
God.
baby.
What's up, mommy?
Stepmom, why are you always getting stuck in the washing machine, girl?
Oh, God. Why don't you step into my room?
All right. My mom died when I was 6 years old. My dad ended up turning to one of his good friends, Anna, and they ended up getting married when I was 7. Anna brought up the idea of adopting me the day of the wedding. It was something my dad was all for, but I went nuts when she mentioned it to me, and I kind of spoiled the rest of the wedding. Yikes. Imagine you're trying to do this nice thing for your kid. It'd be like, fuck you. For the next year, we did this really intense therapy where I was told over and over by the therapist and them that I needed a mom, that it would provide safety for me, and that it was not a betrayal of my mom to accept another loving mom into my life. The therapist put the recommendation into the court to approve it, but when the judges spoke to me, I told him that I would run away and I would do everything to never come back. I was 8 at the time and I meant business.
Oh, yeah.
This is like an intense 8-year-old.
For real. This is like a Macaulay Culkin type.
Yeah, it's like, dude, I'm going to set this whole place on fire, burn it down, and hit you in the nuts with some marbles if you don't fucking give me my way. He asked me why I didn't want to be adopted, and he listened. And when he addressed the court again, he denied the adoption request and told my dad and Anna that until I was on board, no adoption would be approved in his court.
I didn't realize that the kids had like full veto power.
Makes sense. Like, I feel like it should take 2 to want to be adopted.
100%.
They did try again, requesting a different judge, but received the same response. I was asked constantly to change my mind, and I would put her all into trying to fill the place of a mom in my life. Every time I told her she could never be my mom, she took it as a challenge to try harder and be better. She would dedicate so much time to me. It was crazy. I never appreciated it because instead of just being Anna, instead of my dad telling her to just be Anna, she saw mom as the only thing she wanted. Even when she had kids of her own, I was their oldest son. I was her son, her boy. She'd call herself a boy mom, etc. Whereas I never once called her mom.
Ooh, sorry, Anna.
I got a little present for you, mom.
You know, it'd be even better calling her
Maid.
retainer. Maid. There we go.
If we're being honest, I don't even love her after all these years. I see her more as an intrusive family member who won't stop. My relationship with my dad is also not the best because I don't like that he wouldn't take no for an answer and that he was so quick to try to push an adoption. Even after I told him I would rather be with grandparents or an aunt or uncle or a close family friend to Anna if he died, he insisted being with Anna and her being my mom was best for me. I turned 18 a few months ago and I ran like my ass was on fire to get away from dad and Anna. I lived with my maternal grandparents for a while before moving in with my maternal uncle who lived near a really good apprenticeship I wanted to join. My paternal grandparents celebrated their wedding anniversary this past weekend and I was there. While there, Anna approached me, handed me papers for an adult adoption. She told me she loved me and she wanted me to know it was not too late. Fucking take a hint, Anna.
Come on, Anna.
Take a hint.
If I wanted you, I would get you in a different way.
Yeah, Anna, I don't want to be your son. I want to be your man.
You can't adopt me, but you can adopt my penis.
I asked her, how delusional could she be? When I said no to being adopted for 11 years now, I told her I would not change my mind, and I will never. She and my dad were pissed at my choice of words, and chaos ensued at the party. So, am I the asshole?
We want to know what you all think. Please share your comments below if you think OP is the a-hole or not.
And also, would you let us adopt you?
Oh, yeah. Could we actually, what if we just literally adopted like 1,000 of our fans and we just had like the actual OKOP fam?
Whoa. If you want to be adopted by us, put I want you to be my daddy in the comments.
Oh, you'll get a lot of those.
Come to Bali.
He's
also,
open.
we're in Bali, by the way.
He's booked until September 18th, but after that, he is free. Holler at your boy. Here's my question though. Like, remember we had a story recently where it was like, oh, we found out that like the stepmom is actually like a big asshole, you know, whereas it didn't seem that way in the story. Did we get any evidence did we get any bad vibes? Or
we didn't get any bad vibes, except like that she really wanted to be OP's mom and like wouldn't accept any other position in his life. I think it was probably just being too forceful. It's like, hey, you know,
like it could have been good, right?
Yeah.
If she took that energy, be like, hey, I'm going to be a great mom to this kid, but I'm not going to try to push him.
I'm not going to I'm not going to put any labels on it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
No labels. So it could be mom, it could be lover, you know, like we just keep it fluid over
out
here.
while you feel me out.
Oh God. But yeah, is OP the a-hole? Like, because OP made a big scene at the wedding.
Maybe a little bit of an a-hole.
Maybe it's like,
I don't know. It still feels a little childish to be like, so like, you're not my mom.
Yeah.
You're not my mom. You'll never be my mom.
Because now OP's an adult.
Yeah. OP's like 18. Like, you know, fuck, you know, get over it.
I mean, 18 is still kind of young, but like,
still, it's a legal adult. You're legally allowed to be mature right now.
If you can legally bang your stepmom, just be courteous.
Yeah. Come on. Play the long game here.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Because you got that long game, or maybe that short game.
It's either motion of the ocean or
explosion and erosion.
Yep. With that, let's get into this next story.
Let's do it. My mom banned me from going to Disneyland just because I want to abandon my brother. Am I the a-hole?
Disneyland is worth abandoning your whole family for. It's what Walt Disney would have wanted.
So my 16 female parents didn't have much time for me after my brother, 9 male, was born, and it got even worse after he was diagnosed with autism when he was 3. My dad is rarely home and my mom is always busy with my brother, so neither of them have time for me. I've known my best friend Rachel since we were in kindergarten. Her mom is the nicest person I've ever met. Rachel and I played soccer, but my mom was rarely able to take me to practices and games, so Rachel's mom would always take me. I used to be in the school choir and my parents went to like one performance during the 6 years I did it. I love how the teenage speak is coming through.
Yeah.
Like, they only went to like one performance in the whole 6 years.
Come on.
Like, get it together, parents.
Where's the support?
Oh my God. Those are just a few examples. But Rachel's mom has always been there for me when my parents weren't available. My mom never really cares what I'm doing unless she needs me to watch my brother, so I spent a lot of time at Rachel's house. Once I spent a whole weekend there and my mom didn't even call to ask where I was at. Rachel's family goes on a lot of vacations and they often take me. Damn.
At least you have a better family.
Jeez. Rachel's family is the real MVPs here.
Yeah. It seems like they just adopted OP.
Basically. They're going to Disney World during Thanksgiving break and invited me to come with them. I asked my dad and he said I could go. They've already planned and booked everything and I'm really excited. I've been to Disneyland once with my family and it was horrible. My brother threw a huge tantrum on the first day because he wanted to go on the ride alone and sit in between mom and dad, so I had to stay at the hotel most of the time. My brother found out that I'm going to Disney and he had a really big meltdown. He loves Disney and he was mad that I was going without him. My mom told me that she was planning to go to Washington to visit my grandparents. My dad didn't say anything about that, so I'm pretty sure she just made that up to stop me from going. Go to Disney World with my best friend? See my grandparents.
Yeah, they're not quite on the same level.
Sorry, Grandma. You ain't got a lightning pass.
Maybe a lightning fast pass straight to the grave.
Oh, that's right. I don't want to go on a 14-hour car ride with my brother, and I'm pretty sure when we get there, they're either going to make me stay with him while they go out or take him and leave me alone in the hotel. I also won't be allowed to go out on my own. She told me that I need to think about my brother and his feelings are more important than mine. Because he's younger and is autistic.
Bro, no one's feelings are more important than anyone else's feelings.
I told her that I honestly don't give a fuck about my brother's feelings and I wish he was never born.
Yikes. All right. Line cross.
Okay. We got the teenage angst coming in really strong. Oh my God. He was there when I said all this. Oh God.
He's just in the corner.
Oh God. And now he's been crying and screaming for the last 3 hours and it's giving me a headache. My mom has been trying to calm him down and my dad said that he'll still let me go because he understands I'm frustrated. He also grew up with neurodivergent siblings, so he knows what it's like. My mom said that I'm a rude, ungrateful brat and I need to be kinder to my brother. Am I the a-hole? There is an edit with some additional context, etc. But Let me know what you all think in the comments so far. Is OP the a-hole or not? I was 11 when the Disneyland incident occurred. My brother was mostly nonverbal then, but when we were about to leave the hotel, he screamed and was saying no while pointing at me. My parents calmed him down briefly, but when we got on our first ride, he started screaming again, so my parents told me to go back to the hotel. I snuck out on the second day, and I went on like 2 rides before I ran into my parents, and they told me to go back because they didn't want me to be out there alone. Oh my gosh, she snuck out of the hotel to go on some ride, which, by the way, I 100% would have done.
But man, I feel bad for her, dude.
Edit number 3, I don't blame my brother for what happened at Disneyland. He was 4. I blame my parents for not finding a better way to handle the situation. He was nonverbal at the time, but he can talk now. He isn't high functioning exactly, but he does understand what's going on around him. He has basic life skills, but can't be on his own for very long. So we have the full picture,
Yeah, everyone's an asshole.
including the autistic brother.
Yep, that's my take.
Samuel Donner is known for taking stands.
Yep, I'm taking the
Stands
stand.
not every man will stand on, but
No.
Sam does.
Brittle ground I'm standing on.
Yeah.
Only enough room for me.
Here's my question. OP is 16, still in high school, still at the parents' house. I would actually be curious for everyone who has neurodivergent siblings or maybe is in a similar situation. What's the best way for OP to sit down with her parents and talk to them about it and like how it makes her feel?
This is obviously a very complicated situation. It's not as easy as just saying you're an asshole.
Yes.
I think this
It's
is
not?
I wish it was. I think there needs to be a couple conversations just about how to balance this parenting, because I don't think the parents are doing a good job of balancing the parenting between the 2 kids.
Maybe the dad, but definitely the mom, it seems like it's not.
Yeah, but I would love to know what you guys think. What should be done? Put your answers in the comments below.
I'm keeping the $250,000 inheritance for myself. My sister's adopted, so it doesn't count. Am I the a-hole?
Fire your family, make money, hire a new one.
I, 30 male, lost my mom when I was 5. Despite being so young, I had a very vivid and treasured memory of my mom, and I did not take my dad dating a year after her death well. My dad recognized that he knew this would be hard for me, but said that as the parent/adult, he knew what was best even if it didn't seem that way at first, and that I would thank him in the long run.
Yeah, you'll totally thank me for boning this other lady that's not your dead mom.
Not long after that, he married my stepmom, Lucy.
Oh, disgusting.
And when I began to act out over it, my dad said that parenting alone was hard and that my sister, Jessica, 28 female, needed a mom. My dad even got my maternal grandparents to tell me that everything would be fine and how I needed to be a good boy.
I actually think it's the right approach.
It's almost like, do this because I told you so.
What explanation does he need? Like, hello, son, you know, your father is a man.
That was enough to get me to behave during the wedding, but once Lucy moved in and started redecorating, I started acting out again. My dad had had enough and just started punishing me whenever I acted out or made Lucy upset, as well as used the Jessica isn't acting out like this. And to be honest, Jessica was easily pleased and wasn't alive long enough to have the same attachment to our mom as I did. It really upset me when Jessica started calling Lucy mom, and it really ticked me off when Lucy started referring to me as her son. I always corrected it when she tried that around me.
Well, you know, this is just the classic, like, you're not my mom,
Yeah.
or you'll never be my mom. My mom is my mom thing.
That's true.
It's a trope.
It got worse when I was 8 and Lucy had her own kids, because then my dad and her started pushing for adoption. Jessica obviously had no problems with it, but I refused. Now it gets worse.
I love when it gets worse. I love it so much.
My dad had my maternal grandparents come in again and tell me that adoption wouldn't be that bad, but I still refused. Lucy and my dad pushed for the adoption anyway, but thankfully the judge listened to me and to my feelings in a private room and denied it. I did not know that was a thing.
What a fucking brat. Dude, some of the biggest dicks in my life were children.
After that, therapy started, but it didn't last, so they also tried the, since you don't want to be a part of this family, you don't get X or you can't come do Y.
You deserve it.
But I was too stubborn for that method to work on me. The only one who I felt was on my side was my paternal aunt, who kept sticking up for me whenever she'd see what Lucy and my dad were trying to do. So when I turned 18, I went straight to her.
Kid still seems bitter, but like all these things are very normal. There's nothing that Lucy or his dad did that I'm like, oh, that's like a dick move.
It was when I became a legal adult that my maternal grandparents confessed that they were never okay with the situation, but my dad threatened to keep me and my sister away from them if they didn't show support. That is not cool.
Why weren't they okay with it?
I was furious, so furious that I had my surname legally changed to my mom's maiden name, as I wanted nothing to do with my dad and only ever really talked to my paternal aunt.
Wow.
Fast forward to now, and my grandma has passed away. Grandpa died in 2020, and according to their will, only their legal grandchildren is to split the $250,000 inheritance.
Well,
And since Jess is legally Lucy's daughter, all she got was a framed photo of my mom and a letter. Jessica doesn't think it's fair and thinks that I should share the money, but I told her to get money from her legal grandparents. Hey, you know those brand new grandparents you got? Get some money from them.
clappity clap back.
My aunt thinks I'm being a bit harsh, so am I the a-hole? Okay, there are some updates, but wow. I mean,
And I kind of had a flip-flop when I realized that they were trying to legally
adopt him specifically and not just add new children to the family. Yeah.
But I think that's a normal thing. Again, that's a normal thing to do. All right, well, let's dive into the next part.
It had been 2 years since the last time my sister Jessica had spoken to either of my grandparents, while she frequently called and interacted with Lucy's parents. Jessica was never close to my mom's side of the family because she'd rather spend time with Lucy's family and or didn't want to hurt their feelings. When Lucy moved in, she and my dad took down all of my mom's pictures and got rid of her things. I was not allowed to keep any of the pictures in my room.
Oh, that's fucked.
And I would catch heat if I tried to celebrate my mom's birthday, mourn on the anniversary of her death, and get punished if I didn't celebrate Mother's Day the way Lucy wanted me to.
Okay,
That's, I feel like, the context that we were looking for.
I'm starting to see why this is so fucked.
So yeah, she wasn't the saint of a woman who stepped in when my mom couldn't be there for me. And because I keep seeing the same questions, one, I don't blame Jessica for choosing to be adopted now. I'm angry at her belief that she should get any money from my grandparents despite never showing any interest in having a relationship with them once she was 18 plus. They reached out numerous times, but she never bothered, yet has the belief that she's entitled to their money. That's what ticked me off. Two, my mom has a sister who also has kids. I'm not getting the full $250K. And three, no, I didn't expect anyone from Lucy's side to leave me anything, nor would I demand Jessica to share. It would be completely hypocritical. And final small update, my maternal cousins and I had a meeting and we all agree that since Jessica couldn't be bothered to speak or spend time with our grandparents once she was an adult, she didn't deserve any of the money. We had our grandma's estate lawyer send out an official letter to Jessica. She said that she would challenge the will, and I told her that she's welcome to do so. I am fully prepared to never see or speak to her ever again over this.
Wow.
Wow, man, that is...
I mean, it seems like the context we got at the end is that OP's dad and the stepmom are trying to erase OP's mom.
Yes.
And like all of these normal things that do happen when a parent dies and the other parent moves on, there's this undercurrent of I'm trying to replace your mom that, you know, I think in a lot of these situations is true to an extent.
Because you kind of have to, in a way, it's like, oh, I do want to be
need to move on.
Your mom,
yeah, you have to,
right?
Yeah. And so,
but
like,
there's like a right and wrong way.
Yeah, and it seems like in certain ways, OP's parent and step-parent handled it poorly.
But I would love to hear your step-parent stories, specifically your stepmom stories. We always get the crazy stepmom stories. Stepmom stories.
Or if have you been in a situation like this one?
That is true.
Where, you know, a parent has died and you've gotten a new parent. You know, because you know this happens in divorce all the time.
100%.
But have you had this exact situation happen to you? We would love to know your stories in the comments below. But I think we would also love to get into this next story.
Let's get it.
My sister is ruining her life by having too many kids, and I just couldn't keep my mouth shut.
Am I the a-hole?
So, okay, here's the thing, right? If we're talking 2 to 3, hey, overstepping your boundaries. But if we're talking about 22 to 23.
That's a village. My 21 female sister, 32 female, has been married to her husband, 33 male, for 8 years. They already have 6 kids total. The last one was born 5 months ago. So 6 kids, 8 years. Pumping them out.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yesterday, my sister had announced that she's 3 months pregnant with twins. And while everyone was congratulating her, I said out loud, "Oh my God, again, can't your stupid husband leave you alone?"
You got away with words over there.
I didn't mean to say it out loud. but it slipped out. Does that slip out?
I don't think
That's a lot to slip out. That's a lot to slip out.
Yeah.
And my sister looked at me angrily and literally dragged me into another room and asked, why the f did you say that? Which that is a
reasonable
and also respectful response.
If OP said again, that's slipping out.
Yeah.
But not that whole thing.
Yeah, it's a long sentence to slip out. I told her that she and her husband have been pregnant every year for the last 8 years and that she needs to take a break.
Let's make it a full decade, baby. Round it out.
I was worried about her having so many babies in such a short time, and I didn't want anything bad happening to her. She then said, how about you leave us alone and worry about you? Oh, this is my life. So fuck off.
If you want to have 100 kids,
it's your prerogative. My mother told me that I should apologize for being rude, but I told her that I won't apologize for showing concern. But now I just can't help thinking that maybe I was being an asshole and sticking my nose into other people's business. I was just worried, but maybe I was being a jerk. Am I the asshole? There is an update. John, what is your decree?
yeah, I think that's being in that. Again, like if she literally just said again, I was like, oh, I said that out loud. I could totally be like, all right, you slipped up there. And also it's another thing to like sit down with her and be like, maybe this isn't my place and maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. There is a way to approach it, which could still be maybe too much, but like saying it that way is it's just not the move.
Yeah, it's not the move. OP, 100%. But let's see if this update does you any justice. So, edit. Yes, I do babysit my sister's kids sometimes, and all 6 of them at the same time whenever they need me and I'm available. They pay me $30 to $50 an hour, but their kids are pretty destructive and they don't respect other adults like they're supposed to. So it's a full chore watching after them. But $30 to $50 an hour, that's pretty good.
Not bad.
I'm aware that the stupid husband comment was inappropriate, but I have almost no filter and my stupid mouth says before my brain can stop it. And I've seen comments talk about the ages, assuming my sister is 21. I'm 21 female, my sister's 32 female, and her husband is 33 male. And here's the update. I apologize to my sister for insulting her husband and making that rude comment, but I told her that I'm still worried about her having so many kids back to back to back and just concerned in general about her health and well-being. She actually forgave me and said it's because 1, I'm her youngest sister. 2, she knows about my problem with keeping my thoughts to myself and that I'm working on myself. And 3, she knows that I am concerned for her and she appreciates it, but she assured me that she's fine and that this pregnancy wasn't planned and her husband plans on getting a vasectomy because they both want this pregnancy to be the last. For those asking in the comments, she and her husband can afford to have kids. He runs a very successful business and she is still co-partner with her best friend in a company that they both started before she got married. How she manages to juggle being a full-time mom and work here and there is beyond me, but she does. That's why I babysit sometimes when the nanny isn't available 24/7. Her husband was the one who initially wanted a big family, and my sister just went along with the idea, but that's their business.
Wow. So I would say I am not anywhere near educated enough on reproductive health. Is that actually
worrisome? I don't know. My dad's one of 10. My grandma was popping them out every year for a decade, and she is currently 91.
sturdy, standing the test of time?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, it could help you live to 91.
We have evidence.
We have evidence.
This is pure science.
Pure science.
Yeah.
You know, the average, I went to Amish country recently. The average family size in Amish country is 8.2 kids. The Amish population is the fastest growing religious population in America.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating.
That's how you build a freaking empire, dude.
Why not? Go for it.
But let's go for this next story. Also, how many kids is too many? Put your answers in the comments. What's your number? How many kids do you want? And when would you start, just like throwing them in the lake or the river?
Let us know. My grandson sucks, and I'd rather scuba dive than see him. Am I the a-hole?
Yeah, I'd rather be 3,000 feet at the bottom of the ocean than have to deal with your sorry sack of shit.
I, male 27, have a son, Jake, male 26, who has his own son, Mike, 5. Jake's mother and I only had a short-term relationship, and it was an accidental pregnancy. To be blunt, I never wanted to be a parent. Yikes. Particularly not at 21. However, Jake's mother did, and it wasn't my decision.
Man.
Tell us how you really feel.
I hope that kid never reads this story.
Although we have always kept peace, things have always been icy between us due to that. However, I've always tried to do right by Jake. I would have him every other weekend for a month during the summer. I would do my best to deliver on anything he asked of me, treated him kindly, and tried to be a good father. See, when you say I tried to be a good father, it just feels like you're not.
Man, well, the thing is, man never wanted to be a father.
Yeah.
And he's trying his best to be one. That's all you can ask.
Then at a certain point, his mother married a guy Jake hated, and I had him move in with me once he was 13. I won't lie. I wasn't cut out to be a parent. I need to bun up over here.
You get an itchy forehead.
I love Jake, but I just hated parenting. I did it anyway since he was my son. We have a very good relationship, and I've never shirked any responsibility to him. Jake also became a father at 21. However, he was all for it and happily married to Mike's mother.
Mike is the kid.
Right. I was like, wait, hold on. Who's mom? I also got him into my electrician's union and had him set up on some good jobs. So he was on a much, much better footing than I was for a child. Back then, we had a long talk and I told him, Jake, being a parent is a very, very different life. It's hard, exhausting, and on a day-to-day basis, you don't really get to do much of what you want to do.
And I hate it.
And I hate it. It will be a very long time before you don't have that kind of responsibility anymore. Basically, parenting you sucked balls.
I mean, he's right to an extent. Like, parenting is a difficult endeavor.
You will, like what he
But
said
your
at the
life will
end,
change.
you won't have that kind of freedom for a long
while.
time.
Yeah.
Then the conversation turned to how I would help him parent. I told him, no,
My parenting is done, sir.
I have clocked out. I am retired from parenting. I am turning back to my own life. He has his own home, union job, is engaged, and adult enough to decide to have a baby. And literally the exact same age that OP was. He can't even be like, oh man, like, you were so much for. No, you were literally in the exact same place in life I was. He's the adult now. He's the parent. I'll be around, and if there's any emergencies, obviously I'll do what I can, but I won't be called an active grandparent. I've largely held to it. I have been doing a lot of travel. I have a girlfriend, hobbies, and to be blunt, I'm doing all the things I didn't get to do in my 20s. Do I see Jake and his family? Yes. However, I rarely agree to babysit. Jake resents that I don't go to Mike's games. They tend to conflict with my weightlifting club.
He's just getting jacked and like has like a girlfriend traveling the world.
Yeah, sorry, buddy, but old grandpa's got to pump the iron to pump old grandma, if you know what I mean. And is just generally angry that I'm pretty hands-off with Mike. Things came to a head last week when Mike had a baseball tournament, and I refused to go because I had plans to take a scuba class with my girlfriend, which admittedly could have been rescheduled. I didn't tell Jake this, but I spent so many Saturdays bored out of my skull watching Little League when Jake was little. I always cheered loudly, was crazy supportive, and never let on that it was like watching paint dry.
Damn, man really didn't want to be a dad.
But this is no longer my responsibility. So I told him, Jake, I've done 20 years of parenting. That's enough. He then yelled at me that I'm always going and jetting around, playing like a teenager and not putting him first. I told him no, that I wasn't. I did that for 20 years to get him on his feet as an adult. I've done that, and now I can go back to prioritizing my own life. So,
Is he the a-hole?
is he the a-hole?
Oh man, this is a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because like how he describes all of this shit is very asshole-ish. But like logically, like I feel like he's done everything right. And he's just being very honest about how he's felt about doing everything that he's done.
And in his defense and in fairness, we have read so many stories about, new young parents where they are literally like trying to make the grandparents basically be the parents to them, like literally sending them to there all day, every day. And they're like, getting older, all this stuff. So that could happen, I guess.
I think if you decide to have a child, it's your responsibility. Yes, often grandparents, your parents do help. Like I know my parents want to be active when I have kids. Me having a child isn't completely dependent on my parent being able to help.
He put in 20 years.
Man did his time.
He did his time.
and
so
hated it.
I think he's not the a-hole in his actions and boundary setting, but just his way with words. He just paints himself as that.
Yeah. He's just being very honest emotionally.
I think he's setting a reasonable boundary.
Yeah. I want to know what your thoughts are. And also, like, is there any moral responsibility on parenting for grandparents? I want to know what your thoughts are. Put your answers in the comments. How involved were your grandparents when you were growing up?
My mom is dating my high school bully. I won't accept it. I ran away, but 2 years later, she wants to talk. Am I the a-hole?
That voice crack made it sound personal. John, what do you have to tell me? Are you okay? Is your mom getting rizzed up?
No, my dad passed away when I was only 1. It's been me and my mom ever since. As you can guess, my mom and I were very close. When I was a sophomore in high school, my mom got a part-time job as a gym teacher at my school. I supported her when she asked if I would be comfortable with it.
Why? Because she looking so fine?
It was extremely uncomfortable when guys would make comments on my mom's appearance. It also gave ammo to Brad, who bullied me in high school. He would make inappropriate comments about her towards me. Brad was a year ahead of me, so I thought I was finally rid of him after he graduated. I was wrong.
Oh, no.
When I became a senior, my mom started going out very often. Initially, I was happy for her because I wanted her to find someone nice. However, it came to a point where we barely got any time together. To be frank, I thought she was avoiding me.
Dude, stop blocking your mom.
This was because whenever I tried to make plans with her, she had already made plans before. I sort of kept it to myself because I didn't want to come off as needy. I didn't complain when she missed my birthday because she was out all night. When she tried to apologize the next day, I told her it was okay. After 6 months of this behavior,
6 months?
I decided to take action. I asked my mom if we could have dinner together, just the two of us. She said she was too busy. I got fed up and I told her to stop ignoring me. She said that she wasn't ignoring me, but that she had a life to live. That really hurt me a lot. Out of anger, I started to ignore her for a few days. After those days passed, she finally apologized to me. However, she said she needed to talk to me about something important.
Mom's about to drop a bombshell, I feel.
But I see you in the comments.
But I see you if you know what's coming.
She wanted to introduce me to her boyfriend at dinner. She didn't sound excited about it. It sounded like she was almost dreading it. When the doorbell rang, my mom opened it and introduced the guy to me. I was in the most extreme shock.
No.
It
No.
was
No.
Brad. I almost screamed at my mom, asking her, what is he doing here? Brad came forward to acknowledge that the situation was uncomfortable, but he's sorry for how he treated me in school and that he really cares about my mom.
Oh my God. That is like the worst thing you could have said.
My mom asked us to sit and let her explain how all of this happened. I remember screaming, I don't give a about your explanation. You tossed me aside for this piece of shit. You're a pathetic excuse of a mother.
Honestly, yeah.
That's pretty rough. My mom then defended him, saying, don't you dare call him that. She then said she tried to accommodate everyone in this tough situation by keeping the relationship away from me. She then said, like it or not, Brad is here to stay.
No way.
If you don't like it, you're more than welcome to leave. I packed my bags right then and there. I called my grandma and told her about the whole situation. She drove to my house and confronted my mom. After a shouting match between them, I left with my grandma. My mom tried calling me several weeks after, but I blocked her. She tried to visit me, but I called the cops on her.
Wow.
Ooh, my man is not playing around. After that, she just sort of gave up. It's been 2 years since I've heard from my mom. I got a call from her yesterday and she said it's urgent and that we need to meet up and I don't know if I should go.
Oh, tell me there's an update.
There's an update.
Oh my God. I'm wondering if it's a pregnancy announcement.
She said that we could meet for lunch at the restaurant at 12 p.m. When I arrived at the restaurant, unsurprisingly, Brad was sitting there. He didn't even look me in the eye as we sat down. He just nodded his head as if to simply acknowledge my arrival. As my mom sat down, she started shooting out multiple questions. What have you been up to? Are you in school? How's it going? I got annoyed and I told her, stop wasting my time with these questions. What do you want from me?
Yeah, tell me.
My mom burst into tears and begged me to forgive her for hurting me. She then said that these 2 years have been painful for her. Finally, Brad spoke and admitted, she misses you like crazy, dude. She still needs you in her life. Yeah, that'll really convince me.
Dude, You.
My mom said, I'm sorry for being an awful mother. We want to make it up to you. We're moving to California and we want you to come with us. We will foot the bill for your education and everything else. You won't have to work at all and you'll have a permanent place in our home.
What the fuck? What kind of fake promise is this?
I don't know what the hell came to me, but I started laughing like crazy, like a madman. It was the most ridiculous proposition. Now, this is what makes me the monster. This is what I really came there for. After I calmed down, this is what I said to her. Mom, you must be the most delusional cunt if you think I'll ever forgive you. You are dead to me for good. The only acknowledgement you'll get from me is me pissing on your grave when you pass away.
My God. Oh, he's mad.
Then she was hysterically crying. I got it from the table and left the restaurant. Only a minute after walking to the parking lot, I hear my mom screaming at Brad to stop following me. I really wanted this confrontation. The moment he grabs my shirt, I turn around and sucker punch him in the face. He drops on the road with his mouth bleeding. My mom comes to physically restrain me from hurting him until he calms down. I told them, this is what I think about your proposal. It's been 4 hours now after the incident. I know deep down I should be ashamed of myself, but I feel amazing inside. I don't know if adrenaline can last that long. It feels like I took my power back.
Oh my God.
I'm speechless.
I mean, at least he got a punch in. Pretty rough. I feel bad for OP. Like, his mom obviously is not being a good mother.
Yeah.
And he's just frustrated. I would love to know what you would do if your bully started dating your mom. Would you ban her from doing it? Let us know in the comments immediately.
Tell us your stories.
And we'll get into the next one.
My son-in-law is letting his disabled son ruin my granddaughter's birthday. I will not sit back idly. I'm going to cause a scene.
Am I the a-hole?
What is it with these people, Sam? When will they stop?
My daughter, Ava, just turned 15. Her dad died when she was very little. My daughter, May, remarried a few years ago to a man, Tom, that I wish she hadn't. He has a 13-year-old disabled son, Rob. Tom spoils Rob and neglects all of my granddaughter's needs. Of course, this is May's fault too, and I've gotten to the point where I still love her, but I do not like her. Ava must always take a backseat to Rob. She can't go places that Rob can't go. He's in her wheelchair, so she can't do stuff like camping. I had to fight with May to get her to put her foot down and allow Ava to even play sports in school.
That's wild.
That's crazy. Even then, it falls on me to transport her because May must always be available for Tom's needs. She won't even go to her games because Rob said it will make Tom feel bad. Ava's paternal grandparents had to stop giving Ava money because Tom would force her to give Rob 60% of it because Rob is disabled and needed extra.
I don't understand.
The preferential treatment is crazy. Ava's birthday was coming up, and Tom was clear that the cake and ice cream must be what Rob wants, or else it's unfair. Make sure your birthday is pleasing Rob. He demanded that the cake must be chocolate and the ice cream strawberry, neither of which Ava prefers. The party was at my house, so when I pushed back on this, Tom gave me a spiel about how hard Rob's life is, and he deserves to always get what he wants because he is disabled. My husband's daughter just moved near us recently. She has a 6-year-old daughter with Down syndrome. I asked Ava if she would be interested in inviting them, and she agreed. I knew Dave had some allergies, so I talked to the stepdaughter to make sure the party food was safe for him. He is deathly allergic to strawberries, so I assured her that it was no problem and we would not have strawberry ice cream. Ava was happy about that because I guess she didn't like strawberry ice cream.
Right.
She then asked if there were any other food preferences. Dave might have some. It turns out he doesn't like eating brown.
Oof.
Well, since Dave is younger and frankly more disabled, why is it like the disabled Olympics over here?
Oh, God.
We decided that it would only be fair to make him what he likes. Ava got her red velvet cake and mint ice cream that she wanted. Tom was enraged when he got to my place and saw the food wasn't to his son's specifications. I just told him it was more fair to have what Dave's like because Dave is younger and more disabled. Rob threw a fit and upset Dave with his yelling. I scolded him and told him that it wasn't okay to upset the little disabled boy and he was being unfair. Then I gave Dave the present I was forced to buy for Rob because that was more fair. Am I the asshole? Tom is using like the disabled game to win over to Rob's preferences.
Yes.
OP is playing the same game.
Yeah.
But now with Dave preferences.
Yes.
And because Dave is more disabled, the automatically wins.
Yeah.
Based on Rob's logic. So OP is using Rob's logic against him to get what Ava wants. So not the a-hole.
Forget 4D chess. This is like
Yeah, that was a big not to
10D
untie.
chess.
My ex is pregnant and she's saying I'm the father. She wants my money, but I refuse to give her a penny. Am I the a-hole?
My ex, 25 female, and I, 27 male, were together for about 6 months, but during that time, we were free to see other people. A recipe for a great relationship. Things weren't working out, so we broke up. Over a month after that, she finds out she's pregnant and tells me, baby is mine.
Yikes.
But I already knew she was seeing other guys, so it was possible that the baby isn't. She got mad that I was having doubts, but I said if we got a paternity test and it showed I'm the dad, then yeah, I will 100% be involved. My ex didn't want that, and she'd rather wait until after the baby is born to get a test done. So I said, that's fine if it's her choice, but I won't get involved unless I know that the baby is mine. I already know I could set up for child support if I started helping out now, and then later it's revealed I'm not the father. I live in the US and have heard stuff like this happens. I'd rather not even risk it. She's about 8 months now, and I've started saving up money, reading up on some books, making shopping cart lists of baby clothes and furniture to buy in case I am the father. So it's not like I'm not preparing for this at all.
That's cute.
So right now, money is tight with her since I know she's been only working part-time. She doesn't have the money for a baby bassinet or clothes because she practically lives paycheck to paycheck. She started asking to let her borrow money for baby stuff, but I've told her no. As far as I know, she doesn't have other family she's close to, and friends are the same with her. But I already said that I'll start giving her money and helping out once I know that the son is mine. Otherwise, I'd rather not get involved.
Fair.
I've even told her to reach out to the other guys who could also be the dad, but she said one is even more broke and the other she hasn't been able to contact.
Well, you can't just choose the one who you've been able to contact and is richest.
So right now it seems like I'm the only one actually able to offer financial support.
This is getting more and more sus by the second.
We have a couple mutual friends and I'm getting shit from them because they know that I have the money to help out. She could be the mom of my kid, so the least I could do is provide, they're saying.
Well, let's see. Let's see if she's actually the mother of your child.
Right? They say they would if they had the money. They say that since I do have the means and the baby could be mine, that I should already be helping. They have a point. The baby could be mine and I'll be happy to help out once I know he is in fact mine.
That's a really reasonable request.
But everyone else is seeing it as I'm being too cold and inconsiderate. I don't think I am, but I want to know what others believe. So am I the a-hole?
I want to hear from everyone else first.
Yep,
But
please.
come on. You got to do the paternity test. Yeah, they had an open relationship. That's ridiculous.
And she's explained that like, oh, I can't get in contact.
Yeah.
The other guy's broke.
It seems like she's just not getting the tests to string this guy along because she's worried that he might not be the father. OP just offered to pay for the test right out.
Yeah.
And then
I don't think that's the issue, though.
I don't think it's the issue, but I think like that might get things moving.
Yeah, because
a
then
little
it's
bit
like,
earlier. There's
what
like,
else could there be?
Yeah, exactly. Because if there's no risk to the baby, probably the only issue is money. And so cover that so you can just, be done with it. Just know or not know.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, wrap
like
it up.
you should have.
Like you should have.
But here we are.
I just outed my ex-husband as gay to his homophobic mother because she wouldn't leave me alone. Am I the asshole? It's a long and sucky story, but my 25 female, soon-to-be ex-28 male, is gay and hid that from me. Rough. I found out because I caught him cheating, and he as much as admitted that he knew he wasn't attracted to me that way, but he wanted kids and a quote-unquote normal life. I don't care that he's gay, but I will never forgive him for leading me on so he could use me to have kids. The problem is that his family are fundamentalist nut jobs, except for a few members, and his mother is the interfering mother-in-law from hell.
This is just too classic.
His family doesn't believe in divorce, so under the guise of picking up some paperwork and other items, I had found that were my exes, she cornered me about how I'm being childish and marriage is about commitment, forgiveness, and working through problems. Honey, I don't know about this problem. This is a problem that sticks.
Yeah, it's really sticky.
It's a problem that's him sticking it to other hymns.
Exactly.
It became apparent that my ex didn't tell his family that he cheated. He told his mom that I was divorcing him because we weren't having sex often enough for me. Dick.
Literally, actually.
Yeah.
2 dicks worth.
I tried to be patient and explained that he had cheated and that's why. I wasn't going to go into greater detail because I know how his parents parents are, and it's none of their business, which honestly, really nice of OP.
Totally fair.
Mother-in-law's advice, I kid you not, was that men are just that way. And if I wanted to have sex more and for him not to stray, I should have made myself more attractive to my husband and be a better wife. She's asking for the truth.
Mama
She's asking for the truth she don't want to hear.
You can't handle the
I
truth.
lost the plot completely. It had been a sad and hard day already, and that was the final straw. Here's where I may have been the asshole. I told her that the only thing that would make me more attractive to my ex would be a sex change. And that I hoped he and his boyfriend adopted her grandchild so she could finally shut the hell up about it. Not my finest moment, but she just hit the worst and rawest nerve that she could have, and I
Everybody loses here.
It's evidently turned into a huge family drama. He's probably going to be disowned. Oh, fuck. And my ex called sobbing that I've ruined his life out of spite. I don't really know how to feel about it. I do feel bad for him that his parents are such awful people and there were just no good outcomes for him. But I also feel like he made his own bed here too. And there is an update. But what do you think?
Wow.
Do you think OP made an a-hole move by revealing the truth?
So I want to hear what everyone else thinks. I think this is a very difficult one, honestly. But I think that it was an a-hole move. But the thing is, like, I feel like his a-hole meter pumped up so much, and he put so much on the wife who had the intention of not revealing that he was gay, right?
Exactly. And he took no responsibility. Not only did he not come out to his family, which understandable why he didn't.
Yes.
But he said that
It was
he
basically
didn't say
the
that
wife's.
he cheated.
He said it was basically the wife's fault.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the update. So I finally gotten radio silence from my ex's immediate family after the incident with the mother-in-law, so there's a relief. I work at the same place with a couple of his extended family members, so I still have to see them, but they haven't brought it up. They all know to contact me through my lawyer now, and everything big that belongs to my ex has been passed on already. So anything else can be forwarded through the legal office now. I shouldn't have had to interact with them, but it's hard to avoid people forever in a small town. Small town life, dude.
Small town, and she works with the family? That sucks.
Yeah. My ex tried to break into the house the day that I posted the story while I was at work, and I pressed charges. I don't know how that's going to shake out or why he's doing this when it can only get him in worse trouble, but I'm letting my lawyer and the police handle it, and I'm staying with my parents for a little while until I feel safer. Damn, OP, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
It sucks. I don't know what's happened between him and his family, and I don't want to try and find out. My ex and I guess his family before the fight with mother-in-law spread rumors about me, and it's made living here very hard. Damn. It's a smallish community and people treat me differently now. The local stake president, who's like a guy that is a volunteer for like the leader of churches or whatever, has been kind, and after being told about the cheating, no mention of orientation, said he would try to help with the rumors. I don't want to leave the area, but I'm thinking that I may need to at least for a while after the legal stuff is over. My lawyer and I have decided to go for annulment since that will take less time and be harder to fight in this case. Hopefully the ex won't contest it. I'm glad that we never combined finances. There won't be too many joint assets to sort out. I will be okay financially still. This could have been much worse if I was a stay-at-home mom or something. I'm going to start therapy soon. I was thinking about it anyway, even before this all came out, because I've been feeling depressed over how things were working in my marriage for a while. I don't want to lose any more of myself and my time than I already have. And I hope one day I'll feel good enough to start dating again. Right now, I don't know. Even thinking about it hurts.
My goodness.
So, Johnny boy, Johnny Bahama.
Sammy.
What do you think OP should do? Is she kind of trucking forward in the right way? Is going no contact with the family and the ex the right thing to do here? What would you guys do? Would you go no contact with the family and the ex? Put your answers in the comments immediately.
Yeah,
but John,
please.
with this update, what are you thinking?
Yeah, and also I would love to see, I know we've actually had some breakup stories from people who watch, like kind of sharing advice. I would love if you guys have any advice on like any sort of like big breakups like this that you've gone through. I think that'd be very helpful for the community. But yeah, I think that OP is doing all the right things in terms of like, all right, let's leave it to the lawyer. If anything happens, call the police. Like literally just basically have the intermediary handle it and not get involved, because like she said, like just dealing with people directly just gets messy and like all these other things.
And it's emotionally taxing too.
It's emotionally taxing, and like I imagine too, like dealing with it legally, that will help her from accidentally like slipping up and giving them to like something in countersue, whatever. I think what OP mentioned in terms of moving to a new hometown is great because I think about like, okay, what is your overall quality of life? You're going to be stuck with the small
same
town,
people.
all the people rumoring about you, the family, the family you work with. I have to imagine that your quality of life can only improve by
if
moving.
you leave. Yeah. But it's hard to leave, a small town.
It sucks. But
it might be better.
It's kind of like the lesser of two evil type situation.
Yeah. So maybe OP time to go on Zillow, look at some new apartments.
There you go. Maybe come to Bali.
We come to Bali. Bali's cheap, man.
Yeah.
But you know what's never cheap?
Tell me.
The price of this new story.
That's
and
right.
That price is your time,
Yes.
which you will never get back.
No, let's steal it. Let's get into it. I lost $146,000 playing poker, but I think I can win it back. That's always a smart idea. I've been living alone in a new city for a little more than a year. I literally don't know anyone here except for my work folks who I don't interact with except for work. With not much to do during my downtime, I got into the best hobby you can do, online poker. The best way to spend free time. I have a decent job where I make around $100K a year, and where I stay, this puts me in the top 10% of earners. But over the last 7 months, I've managed to lose 146 grand playing poker.
146.
I primarily played PLO6. I started with buy-ins of $100, but then I soon moved to $500 and then $5,000.
Why were you moving up if you were losing?
Big home go.
Oh my God.
The only path. I was losing often, but only after I would run up insane scores. Similar every other day, I would load up for 5K, run it up to 30K, as in gain 30,000, but then proceed to lose it all. And then buy back 6 more times. Oh my God. I kept it mostly in balance with a couple of big cash outs, getting up from the table with, let's say, a $70,000 profit. Only because everyone else left.
I mean, but that's gambling for you, right? Like sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You get addicted to the highs.
And you literally can't control. But I was a consistent loser, losing on average 20K to 30K per month.
Dog, what are you doing?
Oh my God, my entire salary would go into this, other than rent or food. The last week or so of every month, I would be counting my dollars to make sure I had enough to make it through. And then it happened.
What? Did he win? He won.
I lost my balance completely.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
I had a month where I lost over $50,000. I blew through my savings, took an advance from work, and then I blew through that too.
Oh man, I really thought it was going to be a fairy tale ending.
You're just going to come right back up.
No, he got
Our
he got
hero rises
fucked.
from the ashes. Yeah, absolutely not.
Who saw it coming?
Who could have predicted this? As of today, I'm down $146,000
Oh,
with $12,000 in debt and about $200 to my name to last through the month.
dude, what are you doing?
I don't have enough for rent this month, and I really don't know how I'm going to figure this out.
All right, can I give you step one? Can I give
yeah.
you step one?
Step one.
Fucking destroy your computer.
Yes.
Destroy it. Delete your fucking poker shit. Block all poker websites. Just don't go online, man.
No, stop. You
Go
have to
on
stop.
a retreat
Yeah. To Bali.
to Bali.
I am respected at work and seen as someone who is highly logical,
You shouldn't
analytical.
be. You shouldn't be respected anywhere.
Ooh. What they don't know is that I'm also a degenerate gambler. I'm sure I'll get through this. I have to, and I have to rebuild, but I just needed to put this down and share it with someone, even if it is just words in an empty sub. Take care, guys. Loneliness is a hell of a thing.
Oh my God.
Well,
150K.
yeah. I mean, the first thing is like, you have to do whatever you have to do to stop gambling, I feel like, right? Like,
No.
completely cut it.
Or maybe OP's luck is about to turn around. OP, you got 2 options.
Yes.
1, destroy your computer. Lame. I mean, that's like the obvious thing to do. 2, double or nothing, baby. Double or fucking nothing. Take a loan from the mafia. Put your kneecaps on the line, put your
Yep.
car on the line. Maybe like steal from your grandma or something, right?
She doesn't need it.
You put in 5K.
Yep.
You could be up 140K by the day's end. Bam, money back. And then why stop there?
And then why stop?
Why stop there? You
And
could
then
be
why
up
stop?
300K. Keep going. Never stop.
In all seriousness, I feel like he should find like a gambling addiction like recovery center or like some sort of program. Because also also,
Because that's where the best gamblers are. You can get tips to.
that low-key probably is where the best. No, that's actually this is where the worst are because they've lost all their money and now they need to stop.
But maybe they have little pieces of information you could take, compile together, create a new strategy.
But like, also, I feel like that'll solve. I feel like this was just bred out of like loneliness and boredom. Like he literally had nothing to do.
Get a girlfriend, dude.
All this free time. Get a girlfriend.
Get a girlfriend.
We're not looking at our producer Riley.
Oh, speaking of girlfriends, my Australian Bali girlfriend is maybe coming back.
See, remember how sad he was just a few
really
episodes
sad,
ago?
But literally an hour after we recorded, she texted me saying that she had something come up and changed her flights to stay in Bali. Totally not because of me.
Something happened, you know.
Something happened.
We've gambled on this story, but I think we should put it all on the line
For another one?
with the next one.
Let's do it.
My wife lost $25,000 in a scam, and I'm furious beyond belief. She's now depressed, but I kind of don't care. Am I the asshole for calling her a fucking idiot scumbag?
I added that last bit. But
Nice. Yeah. Throw a little sauce on it. It was a little dry.
A little dry.
We needed a little sauce.
Yeah. My male 33, wife female 27 of 8 years fell victim to a scam in which she sent roughly $25,000 to a scammer who promised to transfer $10 million to her so that she could help people in Africa.
She thought
She was going to help the Africans. She was going to give a belly full of rice to every African in Africa.
you are a fucking idiot, actually.
So it was well-intentioned, bullshit, but she did not seek my counsel initially. After she sent $6,000, she then approached me and I pointed out the red flags in her story. She prayed about it and felt God told her it was the right thing to do.
No, honey, no.
Oh, peace, girlfriend. Help those African children.
Bro, she don't know how God works. That's not how God works. That's not how God works. Right? Is that how God works?
Not from what I've seen.
Boom.
Oh, bam.
Certified.
Riley's from a
producer
small
certified.
religious town. He knows his God shit. He's got the God shit a lot, baby.
Yep.
This became a point of contention in our marriage for the past 3 months. She opened and maxed out 2 credit cards and kept it from me. She never lied about it when I asked her, but she certainly avoided telling the truth. This bled into our normal lives as well. She used to call and text me about her days and things she has questions about. Now she's withdrawn with me, except for the day-to-day items needed to keep the family running. I feel similar to have been cheated on, just more of a financial affair.
I mean, it is such a betrayal of trust, and like she keeps doing it.
I know. She's like,
What
just
the
let me give like another $1,000. I swear the 10 million is coming. I obviously have trust issues when it comes to money with her. I've opened separate accounts and taken her name off my credit cards. There isn't anything left in our savings, including our emergency savings. I've cut my spending back tremendously. I used to eat out twice a week and bring food from home the other 3 days. I now only bring food from home. I haven't bought a new video game in the last 3 months. This has impacted my life and has limited what I can do. The man can no longer game.
It's basically he's
The
having
life has taken away our boy's gaming.
like he cannot like enjoy his life
I know.
with the money that he has earned.
I know.
And would have
With the money that he has earned.
I'm this one got my blood boiling.
I know.
So.
That's kind of annoying, dude.
Yeah.
I understand that she is who I married and I have no interest in divorce. I accept this hardship that she brought upon us. I just want to move beyond this and grow back together. This brings me to the point that I'm writing for advice about. This is not even what he's writing to advice about. She told the scammer that she isn't sending any more money. They are still in communication, but the scam
Wait.
is starting to fall apart. My wife is becoming more and more depressed as it does. She says this gave her a lot of purpose in her life. I want to comfort her and do whatever I can to do to bring her out of depression. I know that time will be my best friend, but I know that I can do things to help. But I am still angry at her for spending our entire savings and racking up credit card debt. How can I comfort her without condoning her actions? I think that's
Here
it.
we are.
I think
At the
that's.
end.
I think that's
We're at
the end
the
of the
end, guys.
episode. Should I update them on my?
Let's give a quick Sam's Love Chronicle
Love
to
Chronicles
close it
update.
out. Yeah.
So
Nice and tight.
this girl that I met on the beach, we went on this amazing first date. We had this thing where we only could have one drink at every bar. And so we bar hopped all around. She came back here. We swam, other things. And then we hung out like every day. And then she's like, hey, I'm leaving to go other places in Bali. And then I'm going back to Australia. And I was super sad. And then like a few hours later, literally a few hours after I record the podcast, she says,
Quote.
did you have fun recording today? I'm like, yeah, it went well. I was simping about you on the pod. How's the friends? She's like, I don't know what you could have said, but bless you, I guess, because she loves me. And then she said, guess what? And I said, you're pregnant.
Oh my God.
And then she said, yes, lucky you have dual citizenship. And then I said, huge. If it's a boy, let's call him Kim Jong-un. And she said, I don't know if that's one of your best ideas. And I'm like, fine, let's call him Supreme Leader. That way it works for both a boy and a girl.
It's pretty good.
She says, I feel sorry for any woman you knock up if that's the real case. And then I said, I have a way with names. And then she said, guess what? I'm staying in Bali a little longer. I rang my gal who I was going to Birdsville with, and we had chats. And before I even said anything, she said to not bother coming back for it because the only track there from South Asia could get washed out and the flights are super expensive for me to come and possibly not go. So staying in Bali longer.
Wow. Okay, so she basically is staying in Bali longer.
She's staying in Bali longer.
So where's she right now? And
She's
why is she
with
not?
her friends. She's going to be back in a few days.
Got it.
And so she said she's back in Canggu, which is where I am, the 27th. Today is close to the 27th.
That is true.
So she's coming back soon.
The clock is ticking.
The clock is ticking. I'm excited.
We will update you when she comes back. There you go. Update's coming. See you on the next one.
Bam.